Alright, so I am here today at La Ronde. My wife, Ashley, has gone away for the week to Universal Studios Florida, and this is the best thing I can think to do that comes even close to imitating that. So while she's having fun, I'm going to try to do some on my own. Let's see what this is like. Okay, so first I am heading to Le Monstre, the wooden coaster, because I need my credit on that. I have a credit for the left-hand side, but I need to ride on the right-hand side. So I'm heading there first before things get too crowded. See how that is. This is also good because Ashley doesn't care for wooden coasters. Truthfully, I don't love them, but I need my credit. Alright, so the track I wanted to go on was closed, but looks like they were fixing it. Oh, looks like it's up and running. So now I gotta find my way back. Where is it? Where do I go? I'm lost. I gotta find my way back to the entrance. Oh, there it is, right there. And then, yeah, I'm gonna ride track 2. Here we go through the queue. Here we go through the queue. Alright, so I've done the left hand multiple times. I've done the right. Now I need to do the right. I may have done it before. I was here in 1998. I don't remember. But in any case, going to make sure that I get both sides in. Fortunately, the line's pretty short so far. Ride-ups are slow, but the lines are short. Alright, so I finally got to ride the right-hand track. Wasn't working, then it was, then I got up there and it wasn't working again. They fiddled with it, kind of rocked it a bit, which was kind of weird. Then they just sent it around with nobody on it. I don't know if that was supposed to like reset it or if they just wanted to test if it would go off the rails, but either way, went around, then they let us on it, and it was an alright ride. Not the best wooden coaster. It starts out feeling like it's going to be a smooth ride, and then it kind of goes all downhill from there. Definitely throws you around a bit. Some guy decided, he was a single rider, he asked if he could sit beside me, and I was like, you can do that, but I'm going to squish you. And he did, and I did squish him. So yeah, it's not the smoothest ride, but no wooden coaster is. Okay, so this is another one of the coasters I haven't ridden yet. It's just another Crazy Mouse, which is why it hasn't been a real priority. I'm not going to like this, but I guess I got to do it. These rides are all the same, and they all smash you. So I guess that's the theme of this morning anyway. Oh, that's a long wait for this. It's not that bad, but for this, it's bad. It's called Toboggan Nordique. It's a bobsleigh theme. So all the different cars are themed to different countries. So I waited in line for about 30 minutes, and then I get to the front and I learned there is a single rider's line, but it's well hidden. Gotta go around back here somewhere? I don't know. That would have been nice to know. Oh yeah, so you gotta follow the signs, breadcrumbs leading the way. Yeah, it would at least 30 minutes. And there's nobody else riding that alone, because why would you? It's definitely a coaster that you ride for the credit and nothing else. It's just a typical Crazy Mouse very much a kiddie coaster. I think kids enjoy it a lot more than adults. Adults just get smashed around. This one, I could barely fit my legs in. I'm not tall, and my legs barely fit in. It would have been very squished if I'd been up against someone. But anyway, yeah, there's a single rider's line. Nobody there, so that could have taken 30 seconds. Instead, it took 30 minutes. Lesson learned. All right, it's noon now, so I need to get some food. More particularly, I need to get some poutine. So I'm off to search for some poutine. Off to find poutine, off to find poutine. So here's where they stage the big fireworks festival that happens over the summer. I've never been. It's also the smoking zone. I've never been to the fireworks festival. I was supposed to go on a class trip in 1998, and then we didn't end up going. So maybe I'll go. Le Fleur is the official hot dog of your strong emotions, if I'm translating that correctly. Whatever that means. So where I want to go for lunch is the Fort Edmonton area. That's another part of the park that is from Expo 67. It's like a Wild West themed part of the park. Alright, so this is the Fort Edmonton area. It's got an old-timey Western vibe. And it's got poutine. Everywhere has poutine. Oh, that's a long line. So about 45 minutes later, I have my poutine. I got a bacon poutine. It's actually not the best poutine I've ever had. It's not super hot. The gravy's a bit cold. But after 45 minutes, it tastes delicious. That's honestly my biggest complaint about this park, is that you spend so long in line for ridiculous things like that. This is the remnants of La Pitoune, which was the log flume that opened with the park at Expo 67. And fortunately, this is all that remains of it, but apparently it was a real classic ride. And for some reason, I know that there is a photo of Bobby Kennedy riding the log flume. So if my internet magic works, I will find that, and instantly it will appear right now, and you'll be looking at a photo of Bobby Kennedy riding a log flume at La Ronde. One of the things about La Ronde is there are a lot of just beautiful vantage points out along the water, but the park isn't really built around it that well. You kind of have to find these spots where you can see all the rides. So I'm kind of surprised, but the merch here is actually surprisingly decent. Not at all what I expect at a Six Flags park. A lot of sort of vintage style stuff. I'm not sure which coaster that is. But yeah, as far as coaster shirts go, I might get something. Alright, so let's go up and get a view of the park now. I've always wanted to do this, and now I will. Okay, so that's one of the more fun and unique rides here. I really like that. Such an incredible view. So if you are a fan of historic rides, this one is from 1885. It's apparently the oldest carousel in the world. It's brought here in '67 for the expo and has been here ever since. So cool piece of history. It's just kind of sitting here in the park, not really promoted in any sort of big way. Oh, and I'm just noticing up there you can see the Expo 67 logo up in there. How neat is that? Alright, I haven't ridden a coaster in, I don't know, a few hours now, it feels like. Once took a long time. So I'm going to ride Goliath, which is a B&M hypercoaster. I love B&M hypercoasters. I've ridden this before. I remember it being pretty decent. I've never met a B&M hypercoaster that I did not like, so, they're great. But, let's go do this. Do you ever find yourself up in a queue and you're like, maybe I took a wrong turn because I don't see anyone. Where is everyone? I'm lost. Oh God. I'm gonna be here forever. My God, if this was all filled up, it would be awful. Okay, I see people. I'm not lost. Here it comes. This drop is just fantastic. Yeah. Love that B&M sound. So this is definitely my favorite coaster at this park. Definitely the best coaster here. It's not the newest B&M Hyper out there, but it's still solid. They do try to pin you down, but if you can avoid that, you still get some really nice airtime. I sat at the back, which I always like on the B&Ms. Fortunately, I can't get a really great shot of the coaster itself, just the way the layout of the park is. I'm gonna check out Ednor Latak. Ednor is a dragon. It's also Ronde spelt backwards, so maybe not the most creative name. It's probably the one coaster where they've made an attempt at theming. People get excited about that. It's nothing to get excited about. It's a suspended looping coaster, which people don't like, but I actually really like this one. I like suspended looping coasters in general. Right, good old Six Flags theming. Got some barrels.
Those who haven't seen still believe. Fishing and the belief in the mighty soul has been in their blood for generations.
Une analyse récente des témoignages aurait permis d'identifier une certaine tendance. Comme Björn's main last.
Okay, I think basically the story is there's a sea serpent that lives in the water here.
Au début des années 1920, les pêcheurs norvégiens ont commencé à consigner leurs substances.
Alright, so that was rougher than I would have liked. My restraint was just kind of loose, and it was like a trainee who buckled me in, and then she seemed uncertain. Then her supervisor came and he checked it, and he assured her that it was fine, and also that there's a redundancy, which, you know, I don't ever want to rely on the redundancy, but anyway, it's kind of loose. I kind of got rattled around, but it's still a good coaster, I think. Better at the front. It's a really cool view if you're at the front. I wasn't at the front this time, but if you're at the front, it's really fun going over the water and diving down at it. So I'll say sort of mixed review for me this time. So inside this building is Dragon, the what they call a dark ride, which I guess is technically true. It is in the dark. It's really just a coaster that they put in a warehouse and turn the lights out. I'm not doing it today. I've done it before and it was very disappointing. There's a really long line for it, and there was on the day we went to, I think because it's a family coaster, there's no flash pass for it, so you've got to wait through it. So we waited and waited like an hour, and we got through it, and it was just the most mediocre ride. Definitely not worth waiting in line for. Maybe for a kid, I don't know. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get a shot of when it actually exits. Oh, here it comes! Well, that was exciting. That's about as exciting as the ride is. Alright, let's check out Vampire. I almost called it Batman. It's not Batman, it's a mirror image of Batman. And well, it's just starting to go now, so you get a glimpse of it. I love this coaster. You can see there's, maybe you can't see here, but it's got sort of Gotham City theming with the lampposts and stuff, but it's missing elements that you'd see. Here it goes. I love that B&M sound. beautiful. All right, let's go do that. You know, you think some things go without saying, but apparently not. But does this mean I can wade in here? I just can't swim? I don't think so. So this is Boomerang, which is, it's a boomerang coaster. I actually really like some of these. I like the one at Canada's Wonderland. This is one of the worst coasters I've ridden, though. I'm not riding it today. Last time I rode it, a button flew off my pants. It's really rough. It's like nothing else. But they painted it this year, so that's an improvement. It's a nice blue color. Here we have Chaos, which is the new ride Ronde has been bigging up. They call it a coaster. It's a Larson looper, and it doesn't seem to be working. I guess it's broken already. It came secondhand, so, you know, that's a little disappointing. I mean, I was gonna ride it, but it's kind of embarrassing that your big new ride for the year is A, a Larson looper, and B, a Larson looper that doesn't loop. Here we have Super Manège, which is French for super ride. Not the most creative name. It's an old coaster. It's from 1981, I think. I think it's a Vekoma, but I'm not sure. It was the first coaster at Ronde that had an inversion. It's pretty tame by today's standards. I'm not going to ride it today. I've ridden it before. It's, you know, nothing memorable one way or another. And an inversion. There we go. Woo, and again. It's almost a kiddie coaster by today's standards. In fact, there's some family coasters that are a lot more exciting than that. But, you know, for 1981, I guess that would have been exciting. What kind of amazes me is that the ride lines aren't that bad, but the food lines are crazy. That's for popcorn and candy apples. All right, let's check out one of the more interesting rides, if you can call it that, here. This is the mini rail, which is actually a monorail. It was built for Expo 67, as were all the interesting things here. This is the small monorail, basically like a ride. They also had like a full-size monorail that connected onto it and connected to the larger expo, but this one just does a tour of La Ronde. You can see it there, it's pretty cool. Monorail, monorail, monorail. Alright, so there we have the mini rail, which I think is arguably the best ride here. It's certainly the most unique and enjoyable. Gives you a really good view of the park. Alright, so that just about does it. I'm just going to show you one last coaster. That's the Mille Pieds, I think it's called. It's a kiddie coaster, so I don't get to ride it. I think maybe you can ride it if you have a kid. I don't have a kid, so I'm not going to be a weirdo. But it's interesting because it's from 1967 when the park first opened. It's just a kiddie coaster, nothing too exciting, but a little piece of history. Would be nice to see more of that stuff still here at La Ronde, but it is what it is. I just noticed that despite not being branded as a Six Flags park, they have Six Flags here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then number 7 at the top, La Ronde. So with that, it's the end of my day here at La Ronde. Clearly I'm very tired. I had a good time. I didn't ride as many rides as I normally would because I was just kind of playing around, taking some video, showing off the park. I really like a lot of things about this park. Other things could be improved. Probably my biggest complaint is it just takes so long to get food. The ride's not that busy. Food took forever. Took almost an hour to get my dinner just now. But overall, it's a great park, I think. Not a destination park, but certainly a good place if you're nearby. So do visit. If you do, let me know what you think. That's a really big umbrella.